What if I told you that the biggest threat to your mind isn't trauma, genetics, or even stress, but the invisible psychological environments you step into every single day? Carl Jung warned us about something most people never notice. There are 7 dangerous psychological environments that slowly destroy 90% of your mental strength. This isn't theory. Jung saw it firsthand with his patients, and modern neuroscience is proving his warnings were true. Today, we're diving into the 7 dangerous psychological environments Carl Jung warned about, so you can learn to recognize them, escape them, and reclaim your freedom of mind. But before we begin, take a moment, like this video, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Which of these environments feels most familiar to you? You never know who might benefit from your story. Carl Jung realized that we don't just live in physical places. We also inhabit mental spaces, patterns of thought, and collective environments that shape us more deeply than we realize. The problem is, these psychological environments are often toxic. They feel normal, even comfortable, but they're quietly draining us of our resilience, creativity, and self-worth. Back in 1961, Jung treated a man who appeared perfectly fine, social, successful, respected. But underneath, his mental health was collapsing. After months of analysis, Jung traced the problem to 7 specific dangerous places of the mind this man lived in every day. And when the man learned to step out of them, the transformation was extraordinary. Let's walk through each of these psychological traps, because I guarantee you've lived in more than one. Dangerous place. Number 1. The echo chamber. The echo chamber is one of the most dangerous psychological environments Carl Jung warned about. It's not a room with walls. It's a social space where every voice around you mirrors your own beliefs, until those beliefs feel like absolute truth. Jung's patients spent hours each week in social and political gatherings where everyone shared the same fears, anger, and biases. He thought he was becoming more informed, but Jung realized his mental strength was dissolving. Why? Because in an echo chamber, you're never challenged. Modern neuroscience backs this up. Dr. Matthew Lieberman's research at UCLA shows that when your brain never confronts opposing views, your critical thinking muscles atrophy, just like a limb that goes unused. Jung called this collective possession, when group thinking replaces individual thought. Warning signs: you're in an echo chamber. You can predict what everyone around you will say before they open their mouth. Different perspectives feel threatening, not thought-provoking. You've stopped asking, "What if I'm wrong?" In the echo chamber, you don't grow. You shrink, and as your thinking narrows, you become vulnerable to the next toxic environment, the comparison arena. Dangerous place. Number 2. The comparison arena. The comparison arena is where you measure your worth against everyone else's achievements. Here, life becomes a scoreboard, and you always lose. Jung's patient couldn't enjoy his own accomplishments because someone else always seemed further ahead. A promotion felt meaningless because a college friend became CEO. Every success was deflated by someone else's highlight reel. Psychologists confirm Jung's warning. Dr. Rachel Calagero's research shows that constant comparison actually shrinks the prefrontal cortex, the brain region tied to self-worth and decision-making. Jung called this the inflation-deflation cycle. You bounce between superiority and inferiority, but never land in authenticity. Warning signs of the comparison arena. Other people's wins feel like your failures. You achieve goals but still feel empty. You edit your life to look successful instead of living what feels true. This arena disconnects you from your own values. You stop asking, "What do I want?" and instead chase what earns recognition. And that obsession with appearances feeds directly into the next trap. The performance theater. Dangerous place number 3, the performance theater. In the performance theater, you learn that authenticity is punished and masks are rewarded. It's the workplace where vulnerability is career suicide, or the social circle where only one kind of opinion is acceptable. Jung's patient told him, "I don't know who I am anymore. I've been performing so long, the real me feels like a stranger." Jung called this persona identification, when the role you play becomes your entire identity. Warning signs of the performance theater: you feel drained after social interactions, not energized. You laugh at jokes you don't find funny. You're afraid to share unpopular opinions. This environment is deadly because every small compromise compounds into complete self-betrayal. The longer you play the role, the more the real self fades. And when your authentic needs are ignored, you drift into the silent suffering space. Dangerous place. Number 4. The silent suffering space. On the surface, the silent suffering space looks peaceful. No conflict, no fights. But beneath the quiet lies emotional starvation. Jung encountered this constantly in patients from perfect families. They never fought, but they never expressed love either. Problems were ignored, pain was hidden, and appearances mattered more than connection. His patient grew up in exactly this space. He told Jung, "We never fought, but we never really talked either. I learned that having needs was selfish and expressing pain was weakness." Jung called this emotional starvation, and Dr. Sue Johnson's research on attachment proves it. Ignoring emotional needs dysregulates the nervous system, trapping you in chronic stress. Warning signs of the silent suffering space: you feel lonely even when surrounded by people. You cope with pain instead of healing from it. Asking for support feels selfish or weak. This space feels stable, but it's brittle. And when silence grows unbearable, many escape into chaos. Dangerous place number 5. The chaos storm. The chaos storm is endless noise, news, gossip, work, and constant stimulation. Jung's patient filled every moment with activity because silence meant facing uncomfortable truths. But this isn't preference, it's avoidance. Jung called it psychic fragmentation, when your attention is so scattered that you lose the ability to integrate your experiences into wisdom. Dr. Adam Ghazali's research shows that chronic overstimulation overwhelms the prefrontal cortex, leading to impulsive, shallow thinking. Chaos becomes addictive, and stillness feels unbearable. Warning signs of the chaos storm: silence makes you anxious. You immediately reach for distraction. You stay busy, but don't know what you accomplished. You consume endless information, but can't make sense of it. The chaos storm drowns out your inner voice, and when you can no longer hear yourself, you step into the 6th and most insidious trap: the self-abandonment chamber. Dangerous place. Number 6. The self-abandonment chamber. This is where you systematically betray yourself. You say yes when your soul screams no. You stay in jobs and relationships that drain you. You silence your instincts to avoid conflict. Jung called this soul loss, not a mystical concept, but a psychological reality. Overriding your inner truth disconnects you from your body, your needs, and eventually your identity. Dr. Bessel van der Kolk's trauma research confirms this. Chronic self-abandonment severs your connection to your own emotions and instincts. Warning signs of the self-abandonment chamber: you can't remember the last time you chose something just for you. You make decisions based on expectation, not desire. You feel like you're living on autopilot, and what you abandon in yourself doesn't vanish. It sinks into the darkest place of all, the shadow basement. Dangerous place number 7. The shadow basement. The shadow basement is where you bury everything you can't face: your shame, anger, fear, and pain. Jung warned that these parts don't disappear when hidden. They grow stronger in the dark, controlling you through sabotage, projection, and rage. His patient realized with horror, "I became everything I hated about my father, but I couldn't see it until the damage was done." Jung called this shadow possession. Modern trauma experts like Dr. Peter Levine confirm it. Unprocessed emotions literally live in your nervous system until consciously integrated. Warning signs of the shadow basement. You overreact to small triggers. You repeat toxic patterns even when you know better. You judge others for traits you secretly fear in yourself. But Jung also believed the shadow isn't only danger, it's potential. If you bring it to light with compassion, what you buried becomes fuel for transformation. Anger becomes passion. Shame becomes empathy. Pain becomes wisdom. So, how do you escape the 7 dangerous psychological environments Carl Jung warned about? Jung's solution was individuation, a process of reclaiming your authentic self. 1. Recognition. Name the environment you're in. You can't escape what you don't see. 2. Environmental audit. Ask, does this space help me grow or keep me small? 3. Strategic withdrawal. Limit exposure to toxic environments. 4. Integration. Build new supportive spaces that challenge you to grow. 5. Shadow work. Face what you've buried with honesty and compassion. 6th, maintenance. Stay vigilant. These places are seductive and will always call you back. Jung's patient, once collapsing under these traps, became someone with true psychological sovereignty, living authentically, making clear decisions, and building relationships on truth rather than performance. So remember, the most dangerous environments aren't outside you, they're inside you. The echo chamber, comparison arena, performance theater, silent suffering space, chaos storm, self-abandonment chamber, and shadow basement are the 7 psychological traps that Jung warned about. But they aren't destiny. Each recognition is a step toward psychological freedom. Each conscious choice is a step toward your authentic self. Jung believed that the future of human consciousness depends on individuals brave enough to leave these toxic environments and create healthier ones. Now it's your turn. Which of these environments have you been trapped in? Share your experience in the comments. It may be the first step for someone else's journey to freedom. And don't forget, like this video, subscribe for more insights, and stay tuned for my next video on Jung's warning signs of shadow projection. You'll learn how to spot when someone's unconscious darkness is being projected onto you, and why withdrawal might be your only protection. Thank you for watching. See you in the next dimension of your mind.